Neo Pubco Studios in Oklahoma City. You're watching The Press Row. I'm Jenny Carlson here with Barry Trammell, and we're back in studios now that the NBA playoffs have wrapped up for the Oklahoma City Thunder. But it's time for our 5 and 5 segment, and we haven't forgotten about the Thunder. Lots to talk about here with Oklahoma City. Let's get to it, Barry, with some true-false here. True-false, this Thunder season was a disappointment.
I think that's true. Not a failure, but a disappointment. I think this team had championship aspirations, and after going to the finals 2 years ago, getting derailed by Westbrook's injury last season, I think anything short of a championship was going to be a disappointment. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Now, like I said, that's not calling this season a failure. Thunder accomplished a lot of good stuff, won the division, won 59 games, won 2 excellent playoff series against quality foes. Thunder established themselves as an elite team again. But it's a disappointment when you have championship quality and you don't get there.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's also true. I think it was a disappointment, and for many of the same reasons Barry said. But when you have not only do outsiders see that championship potential, but when you, within the walls of the organization, see it, top brass, coaches, players, they're all talking about wanting to win a championship. And to fall short of that, when you set that out there as your goal, you fall short. It's a disappointment. Yes, they had some great moments. Yes, there's a lot to be proud of and hang your hats on. But if you have that as an ultimate goal and you fall short, no matter if it's injuries or bad play, or you just get outplayed, that's disappointing. So I think you have to term it a disappointment. All right, another true-false, Barry. True-false, the Thunder will have at least 2 new starters next season.
I'm going to say true, but I'm not sold on it. Definitely going to be a new starter at the shooting guard, no doubt about it. The question becomes, will Perk be replaced by Steven Adams in the starting lineup? Both will be on the roster, I believe, but the question is, does Adams start? I think the answer is, I think Adams ends up starting more than Perkins. I think he's shown such development. I think you'll continue to see that. A guy that really hasn't played that much basketball just keeps getting better and better. I'll say this. If he doesn't start more than Perk, he's going to play more minutes. So I will say yes for the 2 new starters.
I'm going to go with false, and I think the big question, obviously, is the center position. Can Steven Adams continue to improve? We saw such great improvement in the postseason, which for a rookie is really unbelievable. I mean, there was so much going on. It's easy for that to have gotten lost. But if you think about a guy that a year ago wasn't even drafted by the Thunder, it's still kind of a question as a project, and he's probably going to spend the season in Tulsa in the D-League. Having not only spent every minute of the season with the Thunder, but to then play well and continue to show improvement in the playoffs, unbelievable what Steven Adams did. But I think we're going to see Scott Brooks stay with Perk. I think it's because of his defense, but I think as the season goes on, that could shift. But I think at least at the beginning of the year, I think Perk still holds that. But boy, I wouldn't be surprised by Christmas, New Year's, to see 2 new starters in the Thunder lineup. All right, Barry, one more true-false with the Thunder. True-false, Scott Brooks can get this team to a title.
Well, I think that's true. I don't know if he will, but I'm convinced that he can. I don't think that's I don't see anything in Scott Brooks' coaching that would impede that. Now, there are things he can do better, in my opinion, that would speed that process along. I mean, I'd like to see more commitment to defense in terms of the mentality of some of the guys, and it's up to Brooks to implant that. And I would like to see some more offensive flow and things like that. But the Thunder got relatively close 2 years ago with Scotty Brooks at the command, and I think it definitely could happen.
Yeah, I'm going to say true on this one as well, and I know that we're probably, to a lot of people, speaking blasphemy to say that Scott Brooks can get this team to a title. But I don't know if you remember, but a couple years ago, there was a guy down in Miami Beach coaching a team that a lot of people said, there's no way this guy can get this team to a title. They're going to have to find somebody else to coach this team. Well, now Erik Spoelstra is seen as one of the best coaches in the league because his team has got 2 titles. Is that fair or unfair that a title elevates a coach like that? I have no idea, but it's the truth. But before he won that first title, everybody in Miami questions Erik Spoelstra too. So I think that, is it worth asking, can Scott Brooks get him there? Sure. But to just automatically assume because he hasn't, he can't, I don't think that thinking is right either. All right, Barry, our fun question of the week. Are you getting fired up at all about the World Cup?
You know, actually, I am for this reason. I have lost my mind and everything that I'm about. I'm actually leaving the country this summer. I'm going to Italy this summer. I'm going to be in Italy right in the middle of the World Cup. And from what I understand, the Italians occasionally have a mean soccer team. I'm sort of fired up to be in Italy if the Italians are doing well in the World Cup and see a soccer-crazed nation bubble over with excitement about its pastime. So now, if Italy, gets drummed out of the pool play quickly, and then it'll be a dud. I mean, I don't know if the Italians are going to be fired up about the Ghana-Portugal game, but I'm anxious to see how the Italian soccer fans react to the Italian squad in the World Cup.
I want to see some pictures from Italy, Rome, like you in the middle of all the Italian soccer fans. Got your Italian soccer scarf and.
Well, I mean, I'll probably watch from a balcony is what I think I'll do.
It seems a little above the people. But yes, I'm getting fired up about the World Cup for this. Well, there's a lot of reasons, but the big one is live sporting events on daytime TV. I have to admit, whenever the World Cup rolls around, whenever the Olympics roll around, while I'm a big sports fan, as much as anything, I just love the idea of turning on the TV in the morning and seeing live sports going on. So sign me up for the World Cup. It'll start next week. All right, lastly, Barry, player with the biggest argument to be first team All-NBA. We saw that team announced yesterday. Who didn't make the team that you think deserved to?
Well, it depends on two things. One, I think it's Blake Griffin, unless you demand the criteria that's in place remain, which is got to be by position, which, got to have 2 forwards, 2 guards, a center. Blake Griffin's a forward. He's not beating out Kevin Durant or LeBron James, so end of argument. If you're talking about staying with the criteria, I think it's Steph Curry. I would have put Steph Curry on the team ahead of James Harden. We all love James around here, but his defense is so atrocious that I just don't know if you can, if you can label a guy first team All-NBA with that kind of commitment to defense. So I think I'd go with either Curry or Griffin, but Griffin's clearly the best player who didn't make first team.
Well, and anymore, guys play enough of sort of hybrid positions. You talk about Durant and LeBron being forwards, and yes, in the true sense of the word, I guess they are, but they handle the ball a ton, and they're outside threats as much as anything. I wonder if that needs to sort of be let go of because, you have such hybrid spots. I mean, even if you look at the point guard position, Russell Westbrook does a little bit of everything. He's not a true point in the John Stockton walk up the court, hold up a finger or two to signal out an offense. So, probably as much as anything, that needs to be done away with. But to me, I say James Harden doesn't belong on that now. It's not because I don't think James is a super talented offensive player, but I read somebody wrote somewhere that James Harden plays defense like he just woke up. Like every possession, he just rolled out of bed and plays defense that way. To me, if you're talking about the best all-around players in the league, James Harden's offensive game does not elevate him to a place where you can ignore the way he plays defense. Hey, be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.